Good evening, and you're very welcome along here to Owen Beg, where the rain is beginning to fall for the opening game of round two of the O'Neill's Senior Football Championship. It's a busy weekend ahead, beginning tonight with two games, one in group round 2A, one in round 2B. That 2B clash taking place up in Celtic Park between Faughanvale and Drumsurn. It will be the end of the road for one of those teams tonight. 8 teams in action in round 2A, 8 teams in 2B. The teams in 2A are playing for a place in the quarterfinals, and the game we are bringing you live is two of those teams, Steelstown against Loup. And the teams in 2B will be battling it out to remain in the championship. The defeated teams in 2B will be heading to the relegation battle. So that is down the line, as I said. Two games tonight. We're bringing you live. Steelstown against Loup and Faughanvale against Drumsurn is taking place at the same time up in Celtic Park. We will keep an eye on that and give you latest scores from that one. And then tomorrow it's 3 games here in O'Beg and a further 3 games on Sunday afternoon. But it's all about Steelstown and Loup this evening. And we will begin with the Steelstown side. In goals is Mickey McKinney. The full back line of Corey McGuinness, Ryan McCluskey, and coming in at number 19 is Shea Ferguson, coming in place of Rory McShane. The half back line of Diarmuid Baker, Owen Concannon and Oran Campbell. Midfield pairing is Shane O'Connor and Ryan Devine. Half forward line of Daniel McAteer, Neil Forrester and Ben McCarn. The full forward line, Callum Deary and Cahar McMonigal. The Loup sides lining out as selected on the Jerry GA socials, so teams are available. In goals is Thomas Mallon. Full backline of Tiernan Canavan, Matthew Rocks and Aaron Rocks. Half backline of Dara Joe Martin, Adam Hunter and Podrick McAlinn. Midfield pairing is Callum Lagan and Jason Rocks. Half forward line, Adam Canavan, Anthony O'Neill and Niall Bain. And the full forward line, Aaron McAlinn, Kieran Devlin and Caelan Devlin. That is the two sides that the management teams have set out here. As I said, there is a second chance if you're beaten, but the prize on offer is huge. It's a quarter-final spot, and joining me on co-commentary will be Mary Kay Burke. And Mary Kay, you were here for the Steelstown, the Steelstown Faughanvale game. Loup were also in a battle against Swatra. We have two teams out of here. Deservedly won, but could have lost.
Oh, absolutely. Any one of those two games were a wee bit of a sort of a hectic on both accounts and equally enjoyable. I'm just looking here at a few of the changes compared to the last day. I see that Dylan Rocks there for the Loup is out now. I know Dylan's going to take part in the minor A final next Saturday, and he took a wee bit of a knock towards the end of the senior game the last day. I noticed that they worked with him a wee bit on the sideline, so I think maybe it's the right decision to look after him and get him right before the minor final. Steelstown are putting out a lot of experience here. 9 out of that starting 15 featured in the All Ireland 2022, so they have a lot of experience in the field, whereas with the Loup they have post-day goals with untold experience. And other than that, Kieran Devlin is the only player to have featured in a county final in 2009 when he was still a minor. It won a McLaren with St. Pius's that year, and then he came on in the senior county final and scored a point. Now, he didn't score the winning point, but a point was the winning margin. So Kieran has a large amount of experience there for a lad of 34 years of age, and between him and Thomas Mallon, the rest of them are, well, look, Jason Rocks has plenty of experience, Anthony O'Neill and so on, but in terms of big days and big occasions, Post-Day and Kieran Devlin are the most experienced players on the Loup side. But they're a young side. They love to go and play attacking football. And I think this is going to be a thriller tonight. I'm really looking forward to it now.
Yeah, you touched on Dylan there. I spoke to Declan McVeigh coming out, or just as they come in from the training round the back, and I just asked him about Dylan, and he says the minor game, he has pulled all his minor players out of the panel to give them the best opportunity. I think it's so many years from Loup. We're in the county final, 30-something years, so it is a huge occasion for Loup. And I suppose you look at both teams, two names jump out at you from round one. Cahar McMonigal hit 1 goal and 16 points for Steelstown. Yes, it did include extra time scoring in there. And at the other end, you mentioned him already, Kieran Devlin scoring 11 points for Loup. So, Mike, it's how you control both of those players, because midfield will be vital. You have to try and stop the ball getting to those two players, because they're kind of they're unmarkable by defenders.
Absolutely, and I see Joe Martin lined out at number 5. Joe was a wee bit unlucky. He was in the McLaren team that lost out in playing in a McLaren final with St Pius's due to COVID. That was the year that the finals were never played, and he has built great experience and great stealth on there and wing half back. So look, the half back line and full back line for the Loup are going to have their hands full, but equally so you have Dermot Baker on there, and I would imagine that he'll be picking up either Keelan or Kieran Devlin and trying to hold down whatever influence they have. Owen Concannon on there with plenty of experience, and you know, I really hope that it's a good free-flowing game of football. I imagine it will. There's not much of a breeze here, a very slight breeze blowing, you would say, from the stand side towards maybe the far corner into the car park end. But both teams getting ready here for throw-in, and yeah, it's going to be a real tough one to call. I wouldn't be surprised if it finishes a draw.
It could be a late night, and you did touch on the breeze. I took the opportunity to walk the pitch when I got here, and along the stand side, you could hardly feel a breeze. Over on the terrace side, it was pretty strong over there, and if anything, it was blowing towards the scoreboard corner. That there was coming gusts, and if anything, it was kind of blowing that way. But yeah, the flags is kind of, they're more drooped now than they were actually when I arrived. Maybe that shower of rain has kind of killed it. So the scene is set. Our match official will be Richie Donoghue. So but we're going to have a minute silence first for the late Agnes Ballon. A moment silence there for the Agnes Mallon. Now we're going to have our national anthem.
Tonight's sung for us by Emer Mahon, Municipalities Club, Castle Dawson.
Castle Dawson, Kira Mulholland.
We love you, our tender eyes. We want this cheer, the eye, we cheer on the child. Not the hands of our the God you unwashed no sin, the God's grip. We are nothing else. Charlotte Daddy,
The scene is set for the first of our round 2 clashes. Steelstown against Loup. Mary Kay, I'm not being disrespectful to either side, but had you offered them a chance to make a quarter-final at the beginning of the championship, they would have grabbed this by both arms.
Oh, completely. And, you know, I know Declan McVeigh has said that he's pulled these minors out, but, you know, there will be people say that this is a shot to nothing tonight on the script, but when you look at some of the teams that are on the other side, there'll be none of these two teams not wanting to win this game tonight. You know, both teams will be wanting to progress, and a shot at a quarter-final is absolutely tempting. I don't think Loup have played in a senior county final since 2009, so I could be wrong, but 16, they were on it in 16, but no, both teams will be wanting to win here tonight and get that under their belt, and also give them a wee bit of breathing space on.
Well, they met in last year's championship. Loup won that one. That was a huge win for Loup because it was a disruptive year for Loup last year. They changed their management in the middle of the season. Declan McVeigh coming in, and they were late getting started at training as well, but they've been putting a big shift in this year. They're raring to go, and had a huge win in round 1 over Swatra. Steelstown defeated Fahan Vale, their neighbours, in round 1 after extra time. Both teams were coasting in the games, but they were pegged back and they had to dig deep. And here we go, Richie Donoghue. He was in charge when Loup defeated Swatra on the opening day. He's back again. And here we go, the opening game of the second weekend of the club football championship. And Richie Donoghue blesses himself and throws the O'Neill's ball into the air. The ball broken down and is well gathered in there by Loup. The first man to get his hands on it is Callum Lagan. Lagan's pulled back there just inside the Steelstown half. Quickly into the hands of the Loup man, but he's leaving it down there for Anthony O'Neill to come out. He will be the main playmaker. Gives it to them Man, the corner for Keelan Devlin. Devlin has it just on the 65-metre line. Plays a low delivery in looking for Kieran. Kieran comes out in front and he's looking to try and work his way through, but he is bottled up, but he does manage to get it back to Keelan again, who come out to help him. Back it comes now to Kieran. Kieran just outside the 40-metre arc, been over on the terrace side. He spreads it away back into the centre now, picked up by Jason Rocks. Rocks between the 45 and 65, comes over towards the stand side and gives it to Callum Lagan. Lagging further out now to McAlin, Pordrick, and he gives it back to Rocks again. It's patient from Loup. They're playing into the scoreboard end here as we watch from the covered stand side, and away up the far side goes Dara Joe Martin. Martin taking on Neil Forrester, but he gets it out and it's cut out there by Steelstown, and Steelstown have the ball in the hand for the first time as they try to break quickly here, but they've let the ball drop, and slow from Steelstown as they tried to pull on that loose ball. It looked like it was Owen Concannon, but he delayed in pulling on it, and Loup got in to dispossess them and win it back yet again. So here is the green and white of Loup. The man in possession is Anthony O'Neill. Lays it off again to Pordrick McAlin. McAlin just outside the 40-metre arc. Plays it inside, but it's short and crisp from Loup. But they give it back out here to Rocks. Rocks inside again. Rocks goes for the return. It wasn't given to him though. Anthony O'Neill holds on to it with the outside of the boot. He spreads it away over to the far side. Picked up over there by Martin. Dara Joe lays it off to Rocks again, who went over to help him. Now it's with Kieran Devlin. 11 points the first day, looking for his first. Shrugs off the challenge there. He's well marked though by Corey McGuinness and dispossessed. And Steelstown have it back, right back in their cornerback position as they break up now. Corey McGuinness, who dispossessed Kieran Devlin there, carries it into the Loup half over on the terrace side, just inside the 65-metre line. Lays it off as the blue and yellow of Brian Oak Steelstown just get a taste of the ball for the first time in the game. Now in the hands of Ben McCarn. Excellent in the opening round. Spreads it away over to the far side. Carrying it up on the terrace side they go as they try to work it inside. Daniel McAteer has got Ryan Devine if he requires him, but Ben McCarn takes it off him. Now he gives it to Ryan Devine. Went off with a slight knock on the opening round, but it's good to see him back because he's an important player for the Brine Oaks. Here goes Ben McCarn now inside the 45-metre line. Lays it off. Chance here for McMonagle's first touch of the game, just outside the 40-metre arc. But he's not going to have a go. He hit 6 2-pointers the last day. Ryan Devine has it now up against Callum Lagan. Sidesteps Lagan. This is an opportunity going through the centre now. Here's McMonagle. McMonagle with the first effort, but McMonagle has pulled it to the wrong side and wide. And really, Mary Kay, if you want someone in that position, it's Ciara McMonagle.
Yeah, and he's very accurate normally off the left, but notice Matthew Rocks has picked him up there and he's just tracking him like a shadow. So Ciara's reputation coming onto this is scoring 116. He's not going to get a lot of room tonight, I wouldn't imagine, but a decent shot, but just tailed to the left and wide.
Yep, and Loup worked the kick out, but they're being pushed right back in here now. Good press from Steelstown, but Niall Blaine, who come on off the bench the last day and scored a point, gets a starting position this afternoon. Dara Joe Martin is now over on the stand side. He's enjoyed the opening minutes on the far side. Kieran Devlin inside now to Adam Canavan. Canavan lays it off again to Dara Joe. Dara Joe's been bottled up, has to get it back out here. Does so to Aaron McAlin. McAlin gives it away over now as the ball is spread over from Adam Hunter away to the far side to Callum Lagan. Lagan carries this one forward. Lagan busts through. Lagan's bearing in a goal here. Could be a goal shot here. He's pulled down. Is it a penalty? It is a penalty. Callum Lagan, he was pulling the trigger, ready to let fly, and he was caught as his foot was caught as it come to kick it, and it's a penalty to Loup inside the opening 5 minutes here at the scoreboard end. And I think it was Shane O'Connor was the man that caught the leg of, or was it Ryan? It was Shea Ferguson, apologies, that pulled him down, caught the ankle of him and pulled him down. Owen Concannon, apologies. Mal McMullen keeping me right here. And here goes Kieran Devlin. Devlin, oh, strike. Clinical strike from Kieran Devlin right into the corner of the net. He gave Mickey McKinney no chance. Clear penalty, and what a strike.
Yeah, what a strike, and I'm sure Mickey McKinney did not want to be seeing a penalty coming at him this early in the game. He's on there tonight in place of Marty Dunn, who started the last night, and I'm sure when he came out of the changing rooms, the last thing he wanted was his first shot to be a penalty. Kieran Devlin just so cool, just slotted it home perfectly. Yep, game on.
Yep, first score of the evening. And who else than Kieran Devlin? Well, Ciara McMonagle had the chance at the other side, but it was a clear penalty. Richie Donoghue Had no hesitation, straight away the arms outstretched as Callum Lagan was caught as he just was getting ready to fire towards goal. And here goes Steelstown. Is there a response on them? Man in possession is Ryan McCluskey as the rain just continues to fall, not over heavy but enough to make it uncomfortable for the players. The ball will be slippy. They've been used to dry weather this last while, although this week they've probably been training in quite miserable conditions. The few brave bodies over on the far side with their umbrellas and their coats. The stand's not full, but there's people that like to watch it from the terraced end, no matter where they go. And here is Cahir McMonigal trying to turn Matthew Rocks inside out, but he's very close to the far side. Gives it to Ben McCarn, cutting in, and this is where he can be dangerous now. Tries to get it onto a shooting position, gives it to Cahir McMonigal. He's on to the left foot. Cahir looks at the post. He's had a wide already, and he's had a second wide. And Cahir just hasn't brought the shooting boots yet, but Mary Kay Loup will know that eventually those shooting boots will come.
Yeah, and Callum Lagan put on a big work rate there to close Ben McCarn down. Ben was trying to get a shot away, and then he had to look to recycle out. And Steelstown are not going to get anything easy here. So far, the Loup defence have been very compact and very quick on the break. So Steelstown have taken a wee bit of time to settle into the game. Few uncharacteristic errors coming in now. It's as you say, Alan, a drizzle kind of an evening. You can see Benbrada starting to disappear in front of us, and that's never a good sign. So conditions aren't great. The ball's going to be slippy. Players will be slipping, and it could lead to mistakes.
Indeed, and here's one here. He could be caught in possession here, the full-back, Ryan McCluskey, but the referee, his whistle sounds, and he wants to have a word here with Kieran Devlin. Not just sure it wasn't that bad of a challenge, but it's just a stern warning for Kieran on this occasion. And a little tick. Maybe you spotted something, Mary Kay, that I didn't spot.
No, well, there was a wee bit of slapping. I maybe thought that there was a slap to the ribs, but I didn't see it as as anything that deserved taking his name anyway. So, yeah, I hope it's not going to be too fussy a game. That seemed to be a wee bit of an innocuous foul there now.
Here's Shane O'Connor now for Steelstown. 1 goal to no score, Loup lead. Coming up on 7.5 minutes gone here. Floodlights are on in Owenbeg. The first of 7 games here in Owenbeg over the weekend. So we hope it doesn't rain too much. Here goes Neil Forrester. Opportunity here. Coming through the centre is David Baker. David Baker pulls on. There's a goal chance in here. Opportunity, but they've been crowded out quickly. Ball's in. Come back off the crossbar. And it's still not clear. Pulled on now, and the opportunity was it a foot block. It's in the back of the net. It doesn't matter. It's in the back of the net. Eventually, it was like pinball in there. The first opportunity was Oren Campbell. He was crowded out. Then the ball was hit against the crossbar. And then it come back out again, and it was pinball. It looked like it was the number 14. Callum Deary had a chance to go, and then eventually it could well have been the corner forward I seen coming out, Cathal Deary. I'm not sure if he had the final touch, but the ball is in the back of the net. It's level pegging. It's 1 goal apiece. We have 8.5 minutes gone in the opening half. So Loup will be disappointed. It looked like they had it crowded out, but eventually the ball is toe poked to the back of the net. Mary Kay's away to try and find out for definite who had the final touch, and it was Callum Deary. Cathal Deary, apologies, it was the number 13 that had the final say, and it is a goal, and it's a goal apiece here. But here come Loup now with Jason Rocks. It's a rip-roaring start, and Callum Deary pulled on that one, but he was blocked, and he, of course, had a wonderful goal at the start of the Steelstown game the last day. Here's Steelstown now back in possession of the ball. Lots of mistakes. It's slippy out there. It's uncomfortable for the players. But away goes the goal scorer now, Cathal Deary. Lays it off here, an opportunity to drive forward for the number 10, which was Daniel McAteer. There's a chance. McAteer's onto this one. Just the pass didn't go to hand, and it's a free out. Had the pass gone to hand, they were in for another goal. But Deary McAteer was reaching for it. He was going over the top of the marker, and he pushed him in the back and down. Goal apiece. It was like pinball in there.
And Daniel McAteer's quite tall on there, and he got over the top of his defender, and once he started to fall, he took the man with him. It was a free out. But yeah, it's messy. Here we see Callum Lagan coming again. Callum's had a lot of ball through his hands now in the opening part of the game, and he lays the ball off to Adam Canavan, they're just keeping ball and setting up. They clearly have a system here. He plays a lovely ball into the corner. We've got too much strength on it, but Keelan Devlin or Kieran, it's very difficult to tell in that light. Kieran Devlin. And he has a wee shot off his left, but it tails to the left and wide. He had to chase that ball right onto the corner flag, but he kept at it and got his shot away, but it just pulled away to the left and wide. So at this stage, a goal apiece.
Yep, 1 goal apiece. Kieran Devlin from the penalty spot But a reply from Cahalderi has levelled it up here now. Loup, 1 goal, Steelstown a goal. Just over 10 minutes gone in the opening half. Mickey McKinney has the ball in the tee. Drives it away to the far side. Looking over there for McAteer. McAteer gets a strong hand to it, but Loup pick up the loose ball. And Loup have it back. And it's into the centre now here to Adam Hunter. Hunter spreads it over to this side here. To carry this one forward is Adam Canavan. Canavan right out to the wing, looking for Padraig McAlin. Right out on the sideline. Cuts inside and fists it into the middle now to Anthony O'Neill. Just seems to operate around that between that 45 and 65. He'll be operating proceedings for the Loup men. Carrying it forward though is Jason Rocks. Rocks lays it off as they try to cut their way through here. It was Keelan Devlin that was out there. Gives it back to Rocks again. Out it comes to Callum Lagan, who's fouled for the penalty. Into the centre to that man again, Anthony O'Neill. Spreads it over here now. There's a bit of space for Canavan. Canavan just on the 40-metre arc. Lays it off to Dara Joe Martin coming through. But Dara Joe has disappointingly put that one to the wrong side and wide, just on the small D. Another scoreable opportunity, and both teams are wasting a few chances here, Mary Kay.
Yeah, they're trading wides here. None of the two teams really have settled into it. I'm just looking there. I've worked out a way of telling the difference between Keelan and Kieran anyway, because Keelan Devlin has very kindly worn a bright pair of orange boots, so it'll not be hard to track his movement for the rest of the evening. But Loup are away here. There's a lot of handling errors. I don't know if it's down to conditions or whether it's down to none of the two teams have been settled, but beautiful ball onto the corner, onto the on run. It looks like Anthony O'Neill is it, and laid back out to Callum Lagan, and a shot away here and shot over the bar. Beautiful score. We're waiting on him to turn round here. Anthony O'Neill. Yeah, Anthony O'Neill scored from play to put the Loup one ahead, and that's the Loup's first score from play in the game. Mickey McKinney's desperately trying to look for options here to get his kick out away, but the whole area of the field is so congested, it's very difficult for him to find any space at all.
One very noticeable thing is the two wing half backs for Loup are switching from side to side. 1 minute Dara Joe Martin's on the far side and Padraig McAlin's on this side, and then now it is Dara Joe on this side, Padraig on the far side. So I'm not sure if they're following their players or is that something that Loup are doing with their wing half backs, but they seem to be switching from side to side. Here go Steelstown trying to respond again. 4 points to 3. One goal on a point to a go. Here's Neil Forrester. Forrester drives it, carries this one forward. He's got help if he requires it outside him, but almost turned into trouble, but he manages to hold possession. He's got Daniel McAteer beside him, but he elects instead to give it to Corey McGuinness. Now it's with Ben McCarn to carry forward. Big strong fist forward now to Diarmuid Baker. Back again to McCarn. McCarn burying in. This should be the equaliser. Onto the left foot, and Ben McCarn pops it over the ball. And when Ben gets it onto the left foot, you always feel there's only one place that's going. He was very good here in the opening round, coming in from that sort of an angle. Mary Kane, we've seen the same again. He gets it on the left foot from that position. It's unstoppable.
Yeah, he's very, very composed on the ball and very strong. And that'll have settled him. He's been floating around outside the D there, trying to get a score away, and he'll be glad to get that one under his belt. Conditions are starting to get worse here. The rain seems to be coming in a wee bit closer to us, but as it is on the pitch at the minute, it's nothing but light rain as Keelan Devlin picks up the ball on the far wing and looks for an option, but he's trying to find men, and as you say, players are switching from one side of the pitch to the other. Adam Canavan trying to get a run through here, and a lovely ball in and a shot away for the Loup, which tails across the face of the goals and wide. I don't know who hit that shot on.
It was Niall Bain, and really it was a very, very difficult angle. He wasn't far from the end line, and really he should have tried to work it back out. I'm sure Declan McVeigh will be disappointed he didn't work that one back out, because had he put it over from there, it would have been an extraordinary point. So it's another wide for Loup. 3 wides for Loup, 2 for Steelstown, I make it. 1 goal and a point apiece. We're coming to the end of the opening quarter as Mickey McKinney with his kick out. Way to the far side, hanging in the air. The hands go up, ball broken down and racing onto it. It's Diarmuid Baker. Baker carries this one forward for Steelstown on the 45-metre line, approaching the 21. He's still going, cuts inside the challenge, needs to get support, does so. On to Ben McCarn. Ben was trying to get it onto that foot, had the opportunity, surprised he didn't take it. Back it comes out now to Carl McMonaghan, being pushed out towards the 45-metre line. And then way back out it comes, and they have to build now again with Corey McGuinness. McGuinness to Neil Forrester. They're now coming to the stand side. And I think that chance is gone now, because Ben McCarn had the opportunity, that quick break. Here comes now to Callum Deary. Deary cuts inside the challenge, tries to go again, does so onto the left foot. This one's going to come round. Is it going to go inside the post? It is going to go inside the post. They've got a point from it. And Steelstown hit the front for the first time in the game. A point from Callum Deary. But I felt Ben McCarn, he had the opportunity on the left foot. I was surprised he didn't take it. But in the end, they got a point out of it.
It was uncharacteristic for him because confidence is never lacking in him. But he did, he dropped the ball and assumed the position that he was going to score or going to have a shot, and then he didn't get the shot away. Thomas Mullen just absolutely beautifully placed onto Callum Lagan's arms, but Callum just dropped the ball. As you say, the conditions are not helping. But yeah, Ben didn't take that shot. I don't know what his thinking was, but he's in possession here again and setting up the play. But a beautiful ball onto Corey McGuinness, who's beautifully read, beautifully intercepted there by Jason Rocks, who is sitting very deep in front of his own box there, and he just read that pass beautifully and broke up what looked like another goal opportunity for Steelstown.
Yeah, but maybe just keep the scoreboard ticking over might have been the better option. But instead it's Loup going forward in the Star Joe Martin foul down here just inside the 65 on the stand side. Ciara McMonigal was tracking him back. Then a push in the back. He got a little tug of the jersey before that. Ball into the corner to Kieran Devlin. As Mary Kay said, supporting those nice orange boots that we can tell the difference. And Kieran now going across the field. As he cuts inside, gives it to Jason Rocks. And now the ball, as the rain gets heavier here, and the mountain has completely disappeared now. The floodlights is on. It's a smory shower, visibility poor as we look across into that far corner. Steelstown, the rain getting heavier here as the ball is spread away over here now to Dara Joe Martin. 1-2 to 1-1. Very difficult, poor conditions. Here comes Dara Joe on the 40-metre arc, tracked there by Ciara McMonigal. He lays it off to McAlynn. Aaron gives it now to Kieran Devlin. Kieran Devlin just cuts past the challenge. He's trying to cut in, but is it going to come in for him? No, it's not. Good marking though from Ryan McCluskey. He stuck tight to him and he made it as hard as possible.
Yeah, he had to stay tight on him because he's so sharp in front of goal. But these conditions are just getting worse by the minute. I know those few hardy souls that you noticed over on the far side of the terrace, their number has just halved because there's half of them coming around behind the goals here to try and get into the stand. It's going to be a relentless evening of rain as pressure for Steelstown here as the Loup turn over the ball. Aaron McAlynn turning over Steelstown in possession, and Anthony O'Neill gets a shot away off us right and over the bar. Lovely score, and that was through the hard work of Adam Canavan and the half forward line there, and the Loup for getting them turned over. And then once you get the ball to Anthony O'Neill at 11, if he can get a shot away at all, he's pretty sure in front of the post.
I don't think the Steelstown management will be too happy though with Shea Ferguson running across his own goal and got kind of outnumbered and ran into pressure and lost possession of the ball, and the sides are level again and it's flicked over to the far sideline by a Loup hand. So it's going to be a Steelstown sideline on the far side, taken quickly into Dermot Baker. Baker on his own 45-metre line, toe to hand, comes out, lays it into the centre now though. The one Concannon over to Ryan Devine. Still inside their own 65. Devine sidesteps the challenge of Adam Canavan. But he's pushed back in again, gives the ball over to Dermot Baker. Between the 45 and 65, still at the scoreboard end. The Steelstown end that they are defending in this opening half. Corey McGuinness to carry it forward. Corey not sure what to do, almost caught in possession, gets it inside now to Neil Forrester. Adam Canavan is chasing after him. Forrester on the 45 slams on the brakes and comes back and gives it to Ryan Devine. He's got his midfield partner making a run there, Shane O'Connor. Just left a little bit of space for Devine to run into. Gives it to Ciara McMonigal now, very close to the stand side though. Takes it into the centre. He was confronted there by Niall Bain. As we look across, David Baker, he's done what he was trying there, a little dance or just a little jump to see who was inside, but it's opened up for Baker. Baker's still going, he's on the 13 here. He's still going, he's almost on the end line, but he's over carried. I don't think he was too sure what to do, and if he had kept going, he was in and it was a simple fisted point.
Yeah, and Ciara McMonigal is being pushed out by Matthew Rocks there, right out to the sideline, and he's actually beckoning. He's beckoning for Baker to come and tick the pass off him because he had no options. His only option was to get the ball away to the on-running Dermot Baker, and maybe not familiar territory for Dermot bearing down on goal like that, although he has a few scores under his belt, but you would prefer Dermot playing the ball onto Cahir. I think it may have been in the back of the net in the other. But here we go again with Jason Rocks setting up the attack from midfield and onto Keelan Devlin, who takes a nice handy toe and lays off a beautiful hand pass to Anthony O'Neill. Quickly closed down by 3 Steelstown players, but he wins the free in. Crowded out, and he was quick to give that one.
Yeah, I think he was lucky, Anthony. I don't think the pass from Kieran was what Anthony really wanted, because everywhere Anthony turned there was blue jerseys of Steelstown, but the referee decided, I have to say, Richie was right on the spot and he spotted the tug on Anthony. So it's a chance here for Kieran Devlin. A goal to his name already, right in front of the post. This should edge Loup back in front inside. Keelan Devlin, sorry. So Keelan with this chance to open his account, and he has done so. Sorry, I had Kieran down for the orange boots. Of course, it's Keelan with the orange boots. So Keelan with the point. Yeah, his first of the day has edged Loup back in front, 1-3 to 1-2. So they've hit the last 2 points. Anthony O'Neill and Keelan Devlin's free as Mickey McKinney with just under 9 minutes of this opening half remaining. Coverage brought to you thanks to Urban HQ, redefining workspace, our sponsors of our radio and our TV coverage. TV coverage begins tomorrow with a triple header here in Owen Begg. Ball broken down the centre, and it's Loup that are in there, and the referee spotted a foul on the Loup man, and the Loup man was Niall Bain. And Anthony O'Neill's trying to take this one quickly and decided not to. But now he spots a run of Keelan Devlin into space. Beautiful ball, but Keelan's racing after this one. Can he keep it? Plays it, skids off the wet surface. He does so, uses his soccer skills, tried a little fancy pick-up, didn't work out for him though. Gets it back outside now to Kieran. Kieran cutting inside. Now lays it off, and there's a chance maybe for Loup to extend that lead. The effort coming in is dropping, and drops over the bar. Good score. And I'm waiting to see the man that popped that one over. I think it was Anthony O'Neill again. That was on target for his third of the day. He hadn't much space, but I suppose when you don't have much space, he put the height into it.
Yeah, and he's so compact and so neat on the ball, and he was surrounded by players. I don't know how he got the shot away, but he got the shot away, and wouldn't have been far off a 2-pointer, to be honest, looking at where he was positioned, but it was a very acute angle. He did very well to get the score out of it. Steelstown are on the attack here again. Setting up from deep as they look for space. There's a lot of space, but a lot of green jerseys in front of them, and he has to recycle back to Neil Forrester, who's back to Ben, and across to Ryan Devine here to try and set up something from the wing. But the Loup defence are very quick out on them. They've closed down and pushing them right out wide very, very quickly there.
They're well marshalled at the moment, is Loup. But here's Neil Forrester, but the referee has spotted a tug on Ryan Devine's jersey. So this is a free. Will this be in the range of Cathal McMonaghan for a 2-pointer? He's coming over, he fancies it. But Ryan Devine says no, because he takes it back out here to Ryan McCluskey. 1-4 to 1-2 in favour of Loup. And the good news is, Ben Brada Mountain is visible again, so that tells you the rain shower has passed. In possession is Oran Campbell. Lays it to Neil Forrester. Forrester inside. Here's a chance for Callum Deary. Is it going to come in? No, it's not. Another chance goes a begging for Steelstown on the road end goals. Callum Deary with the wide. I have to say, between the hurling and the football, I find that the road end goals seem to be the tougher one to score into. This one here, just outside the 40-metre arc. Matthew Rocks gathers possession. Gives it inside to Aaron Rocks, who didn't play the last day, but is back in the starting side. Had a slight knock that ruled him out the opening game. But they're in possession now is Loup as Aaron Rocks makes the run just outside his own 45-metre line. He has to sprint after it just to get ahead of his man there. And they've dispossessed Aaron Rocks on the far side. Ben McCarn is taking it off him, gets it inside to Neil Forrester. Forrester looks for support. Coming off the shoulder is Corey McGuinness. McGuinness has it just outside the 40-metre arc. Gives it back now to Callum Deary on the 2-point arc, but he decides not to go. Gives it back to Neil Forrester. Score 1-4 to Loup, 1-2 to Steelstown. Time tells me with just over 5 minutes of this opening half remaining. It's been a disappointing opening half. Conditions have been far from ideal. Thankfully that heavy shower rain has passed, but it will be slippy as Shane O'Connor goes across field. Gives it there to Shea Ferguson. Ferguson lays it off. Steelstown just slowly holding possession. 2 points adrift. As here's Ryan Devine between the 45 and the 65-metre line. Gives it inside. Chance here for his midfield partner Shane O'Connor to carry it forward. Toe to hand going across towards the terrace side. Then does a complete U-turn and gives it back over here now to Ryan Devine. Still between the 45 and the 65. Ryan edges towards the 45-metre line. Now comes Cahir McMonaghan to take possession. He's edging towards the 65 though. Invites Ryan Devine to take it off him. Everywhere Cahir McMonaghan goes, Matthew Rocks is close by. Ball inside. Chance here though. Neil Forrester off the shoulder. Forrester coming through. They need a point. Forrester can deliver. Yes, he can. Neil Forrester with a point. That was a 1-point game. It was patient, but you can't stop a man coming at speed off the shoulder. That man was Neil Forrester, and the experience of Neil take the point.
Yeah, he just found the space beautifully, and it opened up for him, and he just kept going. Posty goes for the short kick out there, and it just worked out for him, but only just fingertip stuff. Steelstown were up on top of him, but Callum Lagan on the attack here now for the Loup, and just holding the ball patiently, laying it off to Adam Canavan, who's putting a lot of ball through his hands there this evening, to be fair, and back across to Anthony O'Neill. The Loup are very patient on their build-up. They like to slow the game down that wee bit, look for their positions, look for their two inside men, and the two Devlins are making a lot of movement on there, particularly Callum at the minute. Or Keelan, sorry, and out round the outside, trying to find a bit of space on the far wing, but Steelstown have closed him down, blowing up for overcarrying, and that was good work by the Steelstown defence.
Yep, both defences on top at the moment. That's why we have only got a score of 1-4 to 1-3. And this time Anthony O'Neill has overcarried. The referee want to just have a little chat here to somebody. Keelan Devlin and Dermot Baker, and there looks like it's not additional time yet. We are still three minutes of normal time, so I've seen the fourth official, Brendan Quinn, getting the board ready, but I'm sure it's a little bit early yet to be giving us how much injury time, so he's put the board down again as here comes Steelstown, looking to level it up here, but they're still just on the halfway line. Shane O'Connor comes across now towards us here on the stand side. They're running right along the broken white line that marks the centre of the field. Lays it off now to McAteer, Daniel McAteer. Coming off his shoulder is Ben McCarn, but he's on the 65-metre line. He spreads it to the far side now to invite Daniel McAteer to carry it forward. Inside the 45-metre line, over the top. There's a chance here now for Stateside. Cutting in from the far side. Neil Forrester's there if he needs him. Corey McGuinness goes for the point. Corey McGuinness has levelled it up. No, it's not Corey McGuinness, apologies. It's Oren Campbell. It's the man that was coming in. I thought it was McGuinness because he's made a few of them runs up the far side, but this occasion it was Oren Campbell, and we're level pegging. It's 1-4 apiece, and that was a well worked score, Mary Kay.
I listen. I'm just listening here on the Steelstown crowd shouting to push up on the kickouts. Still, there you are. Ben McCarran, is it on the far wing, turns the ball over. And Steelstown this is messy. Conditions are not helping on here, to be fair, but Jason Rocks picks up dirty ball and holds possession. Just that wee bit of experience, because Steelstown have turned them over on the kick out again. They're living on their luck there in terms of the kickouts at the minute. The post is normally so reliable, but I think the conditions aren't helping in terms of what they've worked on for the short kick out, because the ball's spilling everywhere at the minute on.
It is indeed at the moment. We're going to have one additional minute, and there's a strong shoulder in there from Neil Forrester, who's really beginning to make a huge impact here for Steelstown, but the ball just behind Corey McGuinness, but Ryan Devine's there to pick up the loose ball. So we have just over a minute of normal time, and we're going to have one additional minute. Anthony O'Neill goes to ground off the ball there, and they were shouting for a free, but the referee's having none of it. So Steelstown holding possession just on their own 45-metre line at the moment. Ryan McCluskey into the centre. And out here is Shane O'Connor if he needs him. He gives it to Owen Concannon. They worked it out well here. To carry this forward now is Ryan McCluskey. McCluskey just stops on the halfway line, but he could have crossed it because of enough men back. So they still hold possession. They're inside the Loup 65-metre line, and McCluskey has made his way forward here. But he was heading towards the 45, but he turned and he's heading towards the stand side. Cahir McMonaghan meets him, takes possession and turns now and comes towards the stand side also. And still carries it on the 45-metre line, going around the long way. Matthew Rocks is following him, gives it to Devine. Devine going. It's just on the borderline of the two-pointer, and it's off the top of the crossbar and over the bar. It's a 1 point. It's a 1 pointer. The shouts for a 2-pointer, but Ryan Devine has delivered a 1 pointer. I think he was just inside, and I'm not too sure as well. Posty also got a touch, which definitely decided it, but I think he was inside anyway.
But look, the experience of Posty there to to know to get a hand to that, even though it was going over the crossbar anyway, which meant that it ruled out any chance of it being a 2-pointer. Steelstown have settled into the game in the last 10 minutes or so here, and they've really started to grow in confidence. That's a beautiful ball onto the edge of the box. And to Kieran Devlin, who turns his man, turns inside, and gets a shot away, and a beautiful score for the Loup. Straight after that score from Steelstown. But yeah, very sharp from posted to have the presence of mind to get a hand to that and not allow it to be a 2-pointer. But that's a good answer from the Loup here. And at 1-5 apiece, Alan, probably the scoreboard reflects the game. There's none between the two teams.
Nothing between them. He scored 116 the first day, Cahill McMonigal. Hasn't scored yet for Steelstown. It's level pegging with half-time approaching. We're inside that one additional minute. Steelstown deep inside their own 45-metre line with Ryan McCluskey. Are they going to push to get ahead before half-time? No, they're not, because Richie Donoghue says that is that for the opening half. It's half-time here. It's been disappointing. Conditions have been far from ideal. It's slippy. It's untidy. It's 1-5 apiece at the break. Mary Kay, you said it was going to be close. You weren't ruling out extra time on that first half performance. I think 1-5 apiece probably sums it all up.
Yeah, 1-5 apiece sums it up, is right. As I said, they're nothing between the two teams. Now, Cahill McMonigal is yet to register on the scoreboard, so I mean, if he finds his shooting boots, then it could be a different result. But at the minute, the two teams are very evenly matched. Conditions are just not good. Although it has stopped raining here at the minute, but it's a wet pitch, wet ball, players slipping all over the place. And I see the Loup management trying to get their players off the field, and I saw them there going absolutely mad. They had a man drifted up, and I don't think anybody noticed that they were nearly caught with two men back. But they managed to scupper back in time before any of the officials noticed it. But I can see Declan McVeigh's really determined to get them onto the changing rooms there. I would say he'll have a few words for them at half time. I would imagine Declan's disappointed with that first half performance.
Yeah, I think both teams will be disappointed, but they'll know they can do better, and we expect better in the second half. Coverage brought to you with thanks to Urban HQ, redefining workspace. Both our sponsor for the radio coverage and our TV coverage that will kickstart into action tomorrow with the opening game at 2 o'clock. Ballinascreen taking on Kilrea at 2 o'clock. That will be followed by Balahi and Slough-Neil. And then to bring the curtain down on the Saturday's action will be Glen against Dungiven. And then on Sunday, we're back here again. A little earlier start, 1 o'clock. We will have Banagher taking on Ballinderry. And that will be followed by the reigning champions Newbridge as they look to keep their championship alive against Swatra, who are also aiming to stay in the campaign. And then the curtain will come down with Lavi and Maherfell. 4 teams will be advancing to the quarterfinals. 4 teams will also be bowing out of the championship, while 8 teams will be going through to round 3A. We'll try and get a latest score from the other game. 8 points to 3 to Faughanvale is the latest we have from Celtic Park. In the other game, as I said, one of those teams will be crashing out of the championship this evening. But Faughanvale, the latest we have, are leading 8 points to 3. Here in Owenbeg, it's 1-5 apiece between Steelstown and Loup. Kieran Devlin from the penalty spot opened the scoring, and then Calderi with a goal at the other end quickly cancelled it out. Anthony O'Neill has hit 3 points for Loup, and Cahill McMonigal has yet to score for Steelstown. So 10 points to 4 is the latest we have now to Faughanvale in the other game. 10 points to 4. Loup 1-5, Steelstown 1-5 here. We'll be back very shortly with full live commentary of the second half of this O'Neill's Senior Football Championship Round 2A encounter. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be back very, very shortly.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, welcome back to Owen Begg. We wait for both teams to re-emerge for the second half for this O'Neill Senior Football Championship Round 2A in Calgary. Coming to you live here from Owen Begg on Derry GA Radio, with thanks to Urban HQ, redefining workspace, our sponsor of radio and TV coverage. And our TV coverage will begin tomorrow with a triple header here in Owen Begg, and we will also be bringing you on the TV a triple header on Sunday afternoon in the O'Neill's Senior Football Championship. Well, the latest score here is Brian Oaks, Steelstown 1-5, Loup 1-5, level pegging. The latest score up in Celtic Park at half time there, it's Faughan Vale 10 points, Drumsurn 4 points. And a couple of fixtures just laid a score in the Camogie as well. The only one that I could find there was Slotneil 110, Balahi 6 points in round 2 of the Senior Camogie Championship that's also taking place this evening. A few fixtures just, the McFeely Group Intermediate Football Championship tomorrow afternoon. Desert Martin will take on Glenullen in Desert Martin at 1 o'clock tomorrow. And then also in the Premier Electrics Junior Football Championship round robin series, Glack against Sean Dolan's, and St Mary's Slopmanis will take on Drum. Both of those games are also thrown in tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And then on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock, throw-in times as well. In Group A of the McFeely Group Intermediate Football Championship, Limavady can book their place in the quarterfinals if they can defeat John Mitchell's of Claudy. And also another game taking place on Sunday in the McFeely Group Intermediate Football Championship. This time in Group B, it's Fort Glen against Balearn, where Balearn have to win or get something out of that to stay in the championship. The same in Group C for Castle Dawson as they enter 10 Old Row. Castle Dawson losing the opening game need to respond with victory on Sunday afternoon. So that's the games in the McFeely Group, and of course I've given you the fixtures for the O'Neill's Senior Football Championship. And Mary Kay, you've spotted a change. Was that on the Loup side or was that on the Steelstown side?
It's hard to tell. I see 7 for 18 or 18 for 7. it's hard to tell. So clearly 18, either James Gallagher or Patrick Neilus is coming into the game, but we're waiting on confirmation here. It's not Steelstown, so yeah, so it has to be a change on the Loup team. We're just getting the announcement here. The halftime score at Celtic Park 10-4. So Padraig McAllen is coming off for the Loup and being replaced by James Gallagher. We're just getting that confirmation here now by the announcer as Richie gets ready to throw the ball in here for the second half. Halftime change, I don't know what that brought that about. I didn't see anybody injured or anybody getting a knock, so maybe just a wee tactical change by Declan McVeigh.
Yeah, possibly a tactical change. We did say about McAllen and Dara Joe Martin switching sides all the way through that first half. Callum Laggan couldn't hold possession there for that throw-in, picked up by Corey McGuinness. So playing into the scoreboard end now is Steelstown, and in possession is Ben McCarn. 1-5 apiece. Prize on offer, a place in the quarterfinals. The losing team will have a second chance. They will be playing the winners of the round 2B encounters. So the prize, as I said, you don't have to go through another round. You're straight into the quarterfinals if you can win this game. Dermot Baker in possession. Gives it to Neil Forrester, who really came into it towards the end of that opening half. When the side were 2 points down, he clawed them back with 3 unanswered points, and he began the show with a fine score. Ball over here now to Ben McCarn on the 45-metre line, eyeing up his man, been well tackled by his man, skips past him now, still going as Ben McCarn, trying to get it onto his left foot, does so, but he's caught as he kicks it, and that's going to be a free in. A strong direct run from Ben McCarn, and he is fouled inside the small D and right in front of the post. So a glorious opportunity here for Ceathair McMonagle to register his first score of the evening. 116 in round 1. Has shot 2 wides already this evening. This, though, is a glorious chance to open his account and to edge his side in front right at the start of the second half. So McMonagle comes forward right in front of the post. McMonagle splits the post and he gets his name off the mark. And we didn't have to wait too long in the second half for Ceathair to get his name on the score sheet.
No, maybe you're just talking about it before halftime, but that'll be a wee bit of a release of the pressure valve for him there to get that on the score sheet, and he took it very well. Posty picking out a beautiful kick out there, straight into the arms of Niall Bean, who's setting up the Loup attack here from deep again on the run, and he passes the ball so close to the player that it almost caught him unawares. But Adam Hunter setting up the play here, pushes the ball wide out onto the far wing as the Loup look to work the ball around to Keelan Devlin, lays it off, and Anthony O'Neill waiting there. Anthony's orchestrating everything for the Loup there at 11 tonight, and he's had a pretty solid game. But you just have the feeling that this game needs something on. It needs a goal. It needs something to put a wee bit of jeopardy in it at the minute. But yeah, back again from Anthony O'Neill. The Loup are being patient in their build-up as they look to Keelan Devlin again. Now this time Keelan's going to take his man on, see what he can work out.
Yep, but it's slowed down again, as Mary Kay says, just needs a little spark. Just something to ignite this one. I'll see how they come, Loup, look at equalise. Keelan Devlin just outside the large arc, goes for a 2-pointer. We have a 2-pointer, and it comes from the boot of Keelan Devlin, and possibly that may be the spark we needed to get this game underway. The first 2-pointer of the evening comes 3 minutes into the second half, and we hope, Mary Kay, that will be the spark that ignites it.
Yeah, and the conditions have settled down here. It's dry again. The floodlights have come into their own. We were between the light for a large period of that first half, and visibility wasn't good. And now we see Callum Lagan setting up the attack again here from the Loup star. Joe Martin looks in the run on the inside, takes his man inside, but Callum took a wee bit too much out of the ball and under serious pressure by Ryan Devine there, but he's working hard. He's pushed right up under the corner flag, and it is a tug of the jersey given. A tug of the jersey given by Richie hasn't indicated the direction, but it seems to be a free out. Looking at the reaction, is it a free in? Looking at the reaction of the players there, it was difficult to know what way he was going to give that, but he signalled a tug of the jersey anyway on.
A little tug on the jersey because Callum Lagan, he was isolated in there, but the Steelstown men just a little bit over the top with the tackling in Richie Donoghue's eyes, and it's a free in and a chance here for Kieran Devlin. Very acute angle though, very close to the stand sideline, just on the 13-metre line. And he'll come out a little bit to try and make an angle for himself. I don't think he's going to have a go. He's going to try and work it in. No, he's going to have a go. He's dropping it in, but maybe it would have been better working it out. It was a very tough kick for even the calibre of Kieran Devlin. Good kick out from Mickey McKinney over to the far side. Well taken on the far side. 1-7 to 1-6 Loup lead. Thanks to Keelan Devlin's 2-pointer that has edged them in front. Neil Forrester's just swung right round there, but the referee didn't even put the arm up for the advantage, so I'm not sure if he had lost possession when he had given the free, but it's over here now to Ben McCarn. McCarn gathers possession. He's inside his own 65, taking on his man, Dara Joe Martin. Lays it off now to Dermot Baker. Baker carries this one forward, inside the 45-metre line. Little dinky pass inside. Well read though. Good defending from Adam Canavan. But Shane O'Connor's in there. Referee spotted a tug on the arm. And which way is he signalling? He points towards the scoreboard end. So it's a free in to Steelstown. And a chance for Cahir McMonigal to level it up here again. And he was just told to edge out a little bit closer towards the stand side and towards the end line. It's right on the 13-metre line, and Richie Donoghue marks the spot. And Cahir McMonigal, toe to hand a few times, now steadies himself looking into the scoreboard end. This to level it up 5.5 minutes into the second half. Curls it in, curls it over the bar, and Cahir McMonigal has his second point of the game, and it's 1-7 apiece. And it looked great defending there from Adam Canavan. I thought he had done enough, but Richie Donoghue obviously spotted a little tug on the arm.
Yeah, and he had stayed so close and had done everything right, stayed goal side, but as you say, just that small tug, and Richie was right on it. He's right up with the play as Thomas Mullen tries to find an option here for the kick out, and he lands it directly onto Dara Joe Martin's hands, who lays a lovely ball up to Jason Rocks. It seems to be setting up Callum Lagan in possession. Callum Lagan picked up the ball clean there, and he was hit with his shoulder, but Richie deemed that it was a wee bit more into the back rather than fair on onto the shoulder. So that's a free on, and Keelan Devlin straight over to pick up the ball here.
Yep, Keelan with the opportunity, and it was just into the back of Callum Lagan. Really a Steelstown man, although he was committed to the shoulder, really didn't have to do it because Callum Lagan was going away when he was gathering possession there, but he was committed to the tackle. And he went right into the back then of Callum Lagan to give this opportunity now to Keelan Devlin, who has 3 points to his name as he steadies himself here to come forward with this one. Keelan with the opportunity and pops this one in and pops it over the bar. There's Keelan Devlin. That is his 4th point of the day, and it edges the Loup men back in front, 1-8 to 1-7. Keelan with the free. So, almost 7 minutes gone here in the second half. This one still evenly poised. The winner advancing to the quarterfinals. Mickey McKinney was looking like he was going the other way, then spotted the run here down in front of us of Ryan Devine and picks him out. Ryan Devine inside. Chance now for Concannon to drive forward. Encouraged by the Steelstown supporters, gives it to Forrester, back to Concannon again. Forrester goes off the shoulder. This is good from Steelstown. Now with Ben McCarn. McCarn runs into trouble though, just outside the 40-metre arc. Trails it into Forrester again. Forrester's been pushed away from the goal. Good defending from Loup. Now it's back with Concannon into the centre to Ryan Devine. Devine has it. Little bit of space in front of Devine. Sees a runner on the outside of him. Didn't use him though. Uses Cahir McMonaghan instead, just outside the 40-metre arc. Was thinking of having a pot for the 2-pointer. Ryan Devine is having a pot, but it's going to drop out. It's going to drop wide from Ryan Devine, and that is a disappointing end to what was looking for a good move. Steelstown making a change. Carl Doherty is in for the goal scorer, Cahill Deary. So 22 replaces 13 on the Steelstown side, and Carl Doherty is into the fray for Steelstown. The goal scorer, Cahill Deary, is the man that has been called ashore. Almost just over 8 minutes gone in the second half. 1-8 to Loup, 1-7 to Steelstown. Nothing between these two sides. The ball is straight out now to Carl Doherty, a substitute. Offloads it now to McCarn. McCarn was thinking of having a go, but he can't get it. Gets it back out to McMonaghan. His way was closed off quickly though. Gives it inside. Chance here now for the substitute. Substitute to level it up as across the front of the goal, but it's inside the far post. It's over the bar. And once on that introduction, that is Mary Kay from Carl Doherty.
I'll tell you, that's a dream start for him. He intercepted Postey's kick out, which uncharacteristically went awry for him. And beautiful run on the inside, and then come around on the overlap and picked up that ball and struck it over with his left foot. So a dream start for him, and a good score at a critical time for Steelstown here. And again, Postey's kick out goes wrong, and it's picked up by Daniel McAteer, who sets up an early and sharp attack here for Faughanville. And Faughanville, Cahir McMonaghan has a wee pot at it. Sorry, not Cahir McMonaghan. Callum Deary has a pot at it, but it's very high onto the air. It skies and straight down onto Postey's arms, and Loup are back out on the attack here.
They are down here in front of us, but that looks like it's a pull on the Loup man, but he drops possession and he's given away. And then McCarn picks up the loose ball, and Steelstown just getting their tails up here a little bit. Shane O'Connor has it now, fisted inside to Neil Forrester on the 65-metre line. Just slows it down though, does Forrester, waiting for a few bodies to get into position again. After that little hooray down in front of us and dispossessing and turning the ball over, and Forrester just between the 45 and 65 waits for a man to come off the shoulder, and now they try to carry it forward. The man that was coming off the shoulder there was Oren Campbell. Ryan Devine spreads it way over the far side, but he has to backtrack a little bit, the man that he gave it to, but he's giving it back to Devine now. He's between the 65 and the halfway line. Carries it inside the 65, gives it now to Ben McCarn, come out to help him. Callum Laggan's in front of him. Ben McCarn's going to take on Laggan now, lays it out here. Chance here for Callum Deary. Deary trying to find a little bit of space, but drop possession of the ball, and that has given Loup the chance to come in, and Loup pick up the loose ball through Joe Martin. He spreads it away to the far side. Chance now for Loup to break quickly. They're inside the Steelstown half of the field. They're driving forward here, and there's a chance. It's Matthew Rocks, the full back, coming forward. Rocks has it, lays it off. Chance for Aaron McLean inside here now to Keelan Devlin. Devlin trying to work his way around. Good defending though. Steelstown getting the bodies back, pushing them back out now to the 45-metre line. That's excellent Steelstown defending. Back now to Keelan Devlin. Spreads it with the outside of the boot away over to the far side of the field. And over there waiting for it is Kieran, the brother. Kieran trying to come in from the far sideline, trying to get an opportunity to get the strike away. But it's not easy out there. There's very little place for anyone to get the simple shot away this evening here. As here comes Jason Rocks now. Rocks just on the 40-metre arc. Has to come away back out again to Keelan Devlin. Devlin's now going to spread it away over here. He spots Callum Laggan. Takes a wicked bounce over Laggan. And let me tell you, if it's going over Laggan, that will tell you how high the bounce went. Now it's with Joe Martin. Been tracked back by the substitute Diamond. Inside it goes. Doherty, apologies. Now it's with Adam Canavan. Canavan offloads it to Kieran Devlin. Devlin on the left foot, but it's comes up. Oh, it's fisted and just over the bar. I didn't see Anthony O'Neill in there. He got a fist to it and it went over the bar. I thought it was going to be simple pickings for McKinney, but somehow I didn't see Anthony O'Neill in there, and that could have went anywhere.
He's not the biggest man on the pitch, but he was alert to that one anyway, there's no question, and he did so well, and that could as easily have went into the back of the net. It could have dropped under the crossbar as easily as it went over. If it had been a hurling match, that was a Jeffrey McGonigal score, because he just read the flight of the ball beautifully, and and tapped it over. But Steelstown or Dermot Baker gave a textbook example there on fine mark, and Keelan Devlin had looked like he was ready to get the trigger away, and Baker just stood on his toes, stayed tight, and pushed him wide, and the Loup had to recycle the ball, but they still managed to get a score off it anyway. As we see Steelstown on the attack here again, and Carl Doherty involved in the play. He's made a big impact since he has come on here already, Alan. But again, Shea Ferguson is looking for an option here as he recycles the ball. Steelstown patient in their build-up. Owen Campbell looking for an option, and he lays off the ball to Shane O'Connor. So they're working the ball around, and Shane O'Connor goes on the run here. He's forced to take a very tight handy-toe, and he gets the pass off onto the on-running Shea Ferguson. Shea Ferguson tries to get a shot away, but it falls short, and Posty picks it up, and the Loup play the ball short out of the attack and try and set up another play here.
Yeah, it was half blocked down, that effort from Shea Ferguson by the defender, and it was easy then for Posty. Here go Loup now. They lead by 1-9 to 1-8. 17 minutes remain of this O'Neill Senior Football Championship encounter. Round 2 clash, the winner advancing to the quarterfinals. The loser will have a second chance. They will go into round 3. The extra round where the winners or the losers of the 2A will play the winners of 2B. The winners of 2A, of course, advancing straight to the quarterfinals. That will be one of these teams. The latest we had at half-time was 10-4 to Faughonvale up in Celtic Park against Drumsor. The loser of that will make their exit from the championship this evening. Now it's Loup in control of possession here. Kieran Devlin on the 65-metre line. Place it into the centre here for Rocks. It's the number 6, apologies. Poor Adam Hunter coming through the centre, but he runs into traffic. Back out it comes as they try to work their way over here towards Callum Lagan on the stand side. Lagan up against Forrester. Lagan trying to take on Forrester. He goes past Forrester, but Forrester's sticking to him. He's sticking a wonderful block down from Neil Forrester. It looked like he was beaten. He got back and he dived full length to make a superb block. Can Steelstown make dividends now as they try to break quickly? Away they go now with Ben McCarn. Ben McCarn's run into trouble. Skips past the challenger. Plays it into the centre now as they try to work their way up, and Ryan McCluskey's caught high. That's going to be a free. But what about the block? We talk about wonderful scores, but that is picturesque blocking from Neil Forrester.
Look, Neil Forrester, if you were to cut him in half, he's blue all the way through. And I'm just thinking there about the club obviously being called after Brian Oak. Neil Forrester played football along with Brian Oak, and this club means everything to him. And he showed that on the pitch just now. I mean, you talk about putting your body on the line and leading by example, and he just dove at that ball. And that's a yellow card there picked up, waiting on the player to turn round. Niall Bean. So Niall Bean has picked up a yellow card. I didn't see what it was for there, but Steelstown closed the Loup down there. I've just got an update there from Celtic Park as well. It's 1-10 to 1-4 now. So Drumsern have got the ball into the back of the net. But no, here the game has slowed down again. But yeah, a wee bit of excitement there for a few minutes, and then it has calmed down again. But I think there's still a lot to play for here, Alan. I think there's something coming in this game that's going to really ignite it, and then it'll be all hands to the pump. Steelstown on the attack here again, and they're looking to recycle to Cahir McMonigal, but Cahir has shepherded out. To be fair, Matthew Rocks has done a very good job in Cahir today, and he's sticking right to him, but McMonigal gets the shot away. Absolutely beautiful shot right on the tip of the arc. A 2-pointer for Cahir McMonigal. And talk about giving Matthew Rocks the commentator's curse. He was doing everything. He couldn't have done any more. He shadowed him. He was right on top of him. McMonigal doesn't need much room, does he, Alan?
He doesn't, but I think Matthew Rocks will be a bit disappointed with Richie Donoghue, because he kind of blocked him off for a wee second and not give that little bit of space for McMonigal, and he used full use of it. Here goes Steelstown now, coming to try and build on that. They lead by a point, 1-10 to 1-9. Ball back out here to Neil Forrester. Forrester trying to find a little bit of space. Little dummy finds himself a little bit of space, but then he runs into more traffic. Lays it off to McMonigal. McMonigal has gone wide, right in front of the post, outside the little D. And McMonigal pulls it to the wrong side and wide, but the 2-pointer was expertly dispatched. 6 in round 1, including 1 from a free. 2-pointers he hit. This is his first this evening. He has now got 4 points to his name. The previous 2 points had come from frees. Great kick out from Posty to Adam Canavan. Inside it goes now to the man that picked up the yellow card, Niall Bain. Bain drives forward here. tracked by Corey McGuinness. 110 to 19 Steelstown lead. Clock tells me with 13 minutes remaining. Here comes Callum Lagan, trying to level it up here for the Loup man. Lays it off now to Kieran Devlin. Devlin trying to cut his way through, but he's running into trouble. The jersey's been pulled, but the referees didn't spot that. And it's back out now to Canavan. Canavan inside. Chance to carry this one forward is Adam Hunter. Hunter has it on the 45-metre line. Gives it to Kieran Devlin. Took his eye off the ball, but had just about time to get there ahead of him to pick it up again. As Shea Ferguson looked to come in and pick up that loose ball, but Kieran Devlin way over on the far side was gone to ground after the ball had went, and that's going to be a free in, and a silly challenge really from Shea Ferguson to give the opportunity. It's not really a scoreable one because it's a way over on the far sideline, just inside the 45-metre line, but it's just a silly free to be given away. And Richie Dunn just having a word there with Shea Ferguson for that challenge, so it's going to be a free, and Keelan's going to take it himself, but I'm sure he's not going to have a go from there, and he's told to come back out closer to the sideline as well. So they'll try to work this one in. So we have just over 12 minutes remaining. Steelstown by the narrowest of margins, 110 to 19. Keelan Devlin took the free and has possession back again. Inside now to Anthony O'Neill. Gets the shout from Keelan Devlin. Coming off the shoulder. This should be the equaliser on the small day. Keelan Devlin with the ever drop shot. But it's right down the back of the net. The goalkeeper dropped it in. And in went the wing half forward, Niall Bain, had the simple task of palming the loose ball into the back of the net out of absolutely nothing. Loup have a second goal. They're back in front, 2-9 to 110. Mickey McKinney will not be looking back on that one.
He'll not want to watch the replay of that one now. He had the ball in his hands, and instead of tucking it onto the stomach, he palmed it down. And to be fair to Bean, he was alert to it, and he palmed the ball just on past the standing keeper. He was right on the line. And here we see left-footed shot. And it curls in. It curls in. It curls in, despite the protestations of Mickey McKinney that it was wide. A beautiful shot off the left from Aaron McAlin there to give the Loup another score from play. But that goal could have been the spark up he needed, Alan, and fair play to Niall Bain. He was on his toes and on Mickey McKinney's toes and put it in past him. But now we have a scoreline here of 2-10 to 110, and the game has finally come alive.
Just shows you to follow everything in and don't just expect that the goalkeeper is going to hold on to it. Ball in now to Carl McMonaghan. McMonaghan has got rocks. McMonaghan might try and take on rocks here. He is trying to take him on. Tries to take on another man. Makes a challenge. This effort comes in to score from Carl McMonaghan. They're surrounding him. They knew the danger. I think when he got the ball, he may have been thinking of a goal, but he was quickly crowded out. Carl McMonaghan with the point. It's now 2-10 to 111. A 2-point game. Kick out over to the far side from Postley. It's gone astray though. It's going to be picked up by Oren Campbell. The game now beginning to come to life a little bit as the clock ticks into the final 10 minutes. A goal out of absolutely nothing from Niall Bain, and Loup lead by 2-10 to 111. As here comes Steelstown trying to respond. Corey McGuinness in possession, just inside his own half. Ben McCarran takes it off him. Inside to Neil Forrester, seems to be just about ever. He's run himself into the ground. How much more can he give for the Steelstown cause this evening? Here goes Dermot Baker. Baker lays it off on the far side to Callum Deary. Back to Baker again. Baker very close to the far sideline though. Has to cut his way in. Been pushed away back out. Looks away out the field. And he gives it away out the field. Takes a bouncing into the chest then. I think it's Oren Campbell coming in there. In now to Forrester. Forrester changes the gears. Forrester comes through. High into the air. Has it gone over the bar? The umpire's going. And he's gone. And he's put it over. I'm not sure what he's doing. There's no Hawkeye, so I don't know what he's calling for, but he doesn't want to make a decision. He doesn't know if it's over the post. It's over the post, and it's gone as a wide. It's gone over the post, and out and wide it goes. Wasn't too sure, the umpire there, of what to give, but it's gone over the post and out and wide of the target. So it remains 2-10 to Loup, 1-11 to Steelstown. The kick out comes from Posty again. Down through the centre it goes. Callum Lagan is under this one. Gets a strong fist to it. And away it goes. Jason Rocks to gather possession on the 45-metre line. Out to the far side now. And trying to cut in from the far side. I think it's Aaron McAlin. They've got the ball to Keelan Devlin. Now over to Kieran. Kieran, no, pass wasn't good, so he has to chase after it. Close to the sand side. Back out to Keelan. Keelan Devlin with possession. 8 minutes remain of normal time. 2-10 to 111 Loup lead. The winner advances to the quarterfinals. The loser will have a second chance. Jason Rock's in possession now. Just inside the 45-metre line, goes to the far side. Adam Canavan, I think it is, over in that far wing. Gives it to Anthony O'Neill. 4 points to his name. Inside it goes now. Chance for Adam Hunter. He lays it off to O'Neill again to carry it. Comes across. The man that makes, it seems to be just the playmaker, sits around there and goes from left to right or down through the centre, whichever Anthony O'Neill thinks is the best. And he just can turn on the turbo and get on the end of a move as well. Away goes Caelan Devlin, tracked over there by Ryan McCluskey, close to the far sideline. Going over there to help him out was Ben McCarn. Ben McCarn gets a block in, but it's out over the far sideline. Sideline ball to Loup. 7 minutes and a half remain. 2:10 to 1:11. Loup lead. Will that goal, that drop from Mickey McKinney, and then the palm goal from Niall Bain to the loose ball, will that be the score that gets Loup over the winning line? Caelan Devlin with possession. Inside it goes to Kieran. Kieran lays it quickly off. Inside now, Caelan found him a little bit of space. Turns away from the challenge. Caelan Devlin coming through onto the left foot. Caelan Devlin to put 3 between them. He does exactly that. And Caelan Devlin is having a fine game here this evening. 2:11 to 1:11. And another change. 19. Shea Gallagher is coming in for Callum Lagan. And Callum Lagan has run himself into the ground, in fairness to him. And I'm sure he's getting a little bit tired out there. And I'm sure too Neil Forrester has to be getting tired.
Yeah, I noticed Callum Lagan bending, stretching there, but just in a few phases of play before the change. And we have a Steelstown change here. Owen Canavan at 21 in and replacing Shane O'Connor at 8. So fresh legs needed and around the middle of the field. Callum Lagan, as you say, ran himself into the ground, and you could see he was struggling there in the last few phases as Mickey McKinney looks for an option here, and he goes high and he goes long, and it just beautifully flicked on. But it's a bit of a pinball game there in the middle of the field, and the pass back to the Steelstown man went awry, but picked up and away here by Carl Doherty, who's had a solid game since he come on. He lays off to Corey McGuinness, who's looking for options across the field, and he finds Dermot Baker, and Dermot, that'll be a bit of experience. He'll just calm everything down and set up the attack again from deep.
Yep, they don't need to panic yet. With Carmack Monaghan, there's a 2-point machine there, so it's not as if they need to panic yet. Just under 6 minutes remain of the normal time. Ben McCarn in possession, trying to cut in from the terrace side, breaks away from the challenge. Ben McCarn still coming in, ball inside now, a chance here possibly if they can try and work them. They're going in here, there might be a goal chance here, the ball's still in there. I'm not sure where the ball is, but Luke come out of it, and the referee spots a turn. It's a free out. For the moment the ball completely disappeared, but in the end the Luke man come out of it. I was just waiting for the net to bulge again because I couldn't see where the ball was. And the Steelstown man carried it into the traffic, but a Loup man come out of it. Now Anthony O'Neill has it. Loup lead by 3, 2:11 to 1:11. The latest is 2:12 to Farnvale, 1-4 to Drumcerne. So it's looking at Drumcerne are going to exit the senior championship this evening as Adam Canavan is put under pressure. Great pick up from Canavan. When you're under pressure, he puts in a beautiful pick up, gives it over now to Aaron McAlin. McAlin waits for Canavan to come off the shoulder. He does so, and Canavan, a little dummy fist pass, and he gets away from the challenge. He's on the 45-metre line. Looking. Just put a little bit of insurance between them, an insurance score. Though there's still plenty of time for Steelstown. Kieran Devlin has it now. Kieran been under pressure though from Steelstown, gets it to Aaron McAlin. Owen Cannon trying to turn the possession over, but between Kieran Devlin and Aaron McAlin, the whole possession, but they're close to the sideline, and they've run out over the sideline, and it's going down as a wide for Loup. So it remains Loup 2:11, Steelstown 1:11. Looks like Loup are making another change. Podrick McCory is about to come in, but not yet because away goes Steelstown with McAteer. They're already on the Loup 65-metre line. They're told, waving at the players to get forward. Carl Doherty is one of those, and he's in possession. Gives it back to Ryan McCluskey to carry this one inside the 65-metre line. Is there a goal in Steelstown? They don't really need a goal. There's still plenty of time. Under 4 minutes. There's still 3 points adrift though. Ball coming forward here now. A chance for Oren Campbell. Campbell's caught high. Referee plays the advantage. Campbell comes forward. It's a shot for nothing. It'll go back out. And you will wonder, will Carr McMonigal come out and have a go from here? It's between the 45 and it's just outside the 45, is it? I'm just looking where the 45, just on the 45-metre line. Cahir McMonigal is out. This would be a 2-pointer. So Porrick McCorry is in for Aaron Rocks, and Porrick McCluskey is also coming in, is he? McCusker, sorry, Porrick McCusker, 17.
McCusker is number 13.
And Aaron McAlin is the man going off. So Cahir McMonigal with his 2-point effort from a free to put one between them with just under 3 minutes remaining. McMonigal coming forward. He's going to place the ball again because Loup are still waiting for the player to come off. And then Richie Donoghue will give the go-ahead. As Cahir McMonigal places the ball again and makes his way back to make the run-up. McMonigal throws a little bit of grass up into the Owen Begg air. This on the 45-metre line, just a wee bit outside it. So a chance here for Cahir McMonigal to put it a 1-point game. Gets a good connection. Has he the direction? Yes, he has! Cahir McMonigal pings the 2-pointer. It's a 1-point game. And it's back. Game on. We said there was plenty of time. They're right back in it.
That's an unbelievable score because there is not an error. The flags are hanging limp on the flag post. It's not as though that was any way one assisted, and he struck that beautifully, a perfect score. So we look at Thomas Mallon here trying to find his man, but he doesn't find him. Ball breaks and Shea Ferguson picks it up for Steelstown, and they set up the attack again here. Loup are under pressure all of a sudden, and we see Steelstown's Dermot Baker, of course, setting up the attack again. So far on the far wing, and he recycles the ball around, and a shot away by Callum Derry, and a score for Callum Derry to leave the score 2-11 to 1-14. We got 2 minutes left to play, a minute plus injury time. A change on the Steelstown team. Porrick Neelis.
Number 19, Shea Ferguson.
Porrick Neelis in for Shea Ferguson. So, yep, lot to play for here, Alan. 2-11 to 1-14 to the Loup.
Yep, all square with a minute remaining of normal time. So all eyes now on Brendan Quinn, our fourth official. How much additional time we're going to have. Kick out from Posty. Possession will be vital here. Ball drops in the centre of the field. Met by a fist of the Steelstown man. But the referee says it's into the back of the Loup man. So free to Loup. Right on the halfway line. Keelan Devlin has the ball in the hand. Out it goes to the far side inside the own 65-metre line. Taking the ball now. There was Anthony O'Neill. Is there to be a winner, or are we going to extra time? Steelstown were involved in extra time in the first game. 2-11 to Loup. 1-14 to Steelstown. Level pegging here in O'Beg. And this is the opening evening of round 2 of the O'Neill Senior Football Championship. We're coming live here from Owen Begg. The winner, the prize for the winner is a place in the quarter-finals. It won't be the end of the road if you lose, but a quarter-final spot is huge. Keelan Devlin, between the 45 and the 65, comes across. Gives it to Jason Rocks. Little dinky pass inside from Jason Rocks. Very close to the ground, and the Loup man went down. He was expecting a challenge to come in behind. It didn't come in, and he left the ball behind, and Steelstown have it back. I missed the fourth official after all that, and away it goes. Steelstown now down here in front of us, but Loup are putting the pressure on to try and turn it over. Ryan McCluskey. Back it goes to Devine. Ryan Devine. As he goes across the field, Loup put the pressure on. They're trying to isolate it. Ben McCarroll for long fist out here now to carry the Doherty to David Baker to carry it forward. The Steelstown supporters are on their feet, and so too are their subs as they encourage their men to come forward. Carl Doherty, back to David Baker, inside to Neil Forrester. Is there to be a winner? The sides are level. We're into additional time, and away goes the substitute over on the far side now, and that substitute is Porrick Neelis. He has been crowded out, he's been turned over, and Loup have the ball back, and now they turn it over. Steelstown, but the ball breaks shiny here for Jason Rocks. Rocks has it for Loup. Good ball from Rocks. He spots a man unmarked on the far side. They're inside the 65. They're approaching the 45. We're still going as Loup, and they're coming off the shoulder is Kieran Devlin. Devlin. Devlin tries to break away from the challenge. Devlin with the effort, drops in, drops short, and this time Mickey McKinney holds on to possession as a Loup man come in on them, and Steelstown have it back again. We're deep into additional time. The sides are locked together. There goes Ben McCarn inside his own 45-minute line into the centre now to Neil Forrester. Coming off his shoulder there was McAteer, Daniel McAteer, inside the Loup half of the field, slows it down with a pass over to the far side. Padraig Neelis has it. Ryan Devine now has possession, way up the far side. Good ball over the top. There's a chance possibly over here. McMonigal to win it, possibly McMonigal. It's ball in! Goal for Steelstown! Flicked into the net, but the referee is going in. The referee is going in. It could be a square ball. Or is it? No, it's a goal! Corey McGuinness was going to touch. A goal for Steelstown. Steelstown 2-14. Loup 2-11. Is that the score? It dropped short. It was a battle between Posty and McGuinness. McGuinness got there ahead of him and flicked it to the net. And Steelstown could have won it. Or can Loup have another say? This game was dull. For a long period. But it's come to life, coming down the home straight. Loup come now looking for a goal to equalise. Caelan Devlin turns his man, tries to pick it up, but Ryan McCluskey gets the toe broken, gets it back to David Baker. Baker under pressure, free out to Steelstown. Rory Kay, what about this for a game now?
Oh, unbelievable. I think Thomas Mallon was really hoping that was going to be given as a square ball, but look, the goal was good. Corey McGuinness was exactly did to Mallon what was done to McKinney earlier on, and he was on top of him, and there was no chance. Ball onto the back of the net, and Mallon had no chance at all. So 2-14 to 2-11. The game has stopped here now for a Steelstown player to be treated, but I can't see that the Loup are going to get time to get anything out of this at this stage. We're well into injury time, and Steelstown's tails are up. I can't see them giving this one away.
Now on the one free, David Baker receives treatment in the corner. And there goes the first red whistle. It's all over. And Steelstown are into the quarterfinals of the O'Neill Senior Football Championship. Corey McGuinness with the winning goal with almost the last touch of the game. And Steelstown are the first team into the quarterfinals of the O'Neill Senior Football Championship. They dug deep. It looked when Loup had pulled 3 clear, but back came the score from Cahir McMonigal from a free with that 2-pointer that brought it back to a 1-point game. They needed something, and Cahir McMonigal stepped up with that 2-pointer. Then Callum Deary with the equaliser, and I'm almost certain it was Corey McGuinness that got the touch. Hopefully it was. He was in there, and he got the touch to flick it to the net, and it's Steelstown into the quarterfinals.
Absolutely. We'll have to get the dubious goals coming in if it wasn't him, but the Loup look a wee bit shell-shocked here. It's quite unbelievable the way that game took a turn in the last few minutes, but without a doubt, the 2-pointer for Cahir McMonigal was an unbelievable score as a standalone score, but such a turning point in the game and such a key moment in the game, and it gives the Steelstown boys a wee bit of belief. But their work rate there in the last phase of play, where they turned the Loup over, it looked like the Loup were going on the hunt and they were going to snatch the one and score and kill the game out. You had Keelan Devlin, Kieran Devlin, Anthony O'Neill, all the ball through their hands, but they could not get room to get their shot away. And when Steelstown turned them over up the field and a goal, what a dream ending for them. And the last touch of the game, last score of the game, and last word to Steelstown.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at Steelstown. High fives and lots of hugs. They are a happy bunch. And I just see Neil Forrester and Ben McCarn. And Neil Forrester ran himself into the ground out there. And Mary Kay did say what that blue jersey means to Neil Forrester. Well, he showed it out there this evening. And his side are heading for the quarterfinals. They will have, I think it's a 3 or 4 week layoff, which is huge. Loup must dust themselves off. They now head in to another championship campaign with the safety net being taken from under them. They will have a second chance, but they will now have to wait to see who they are going to meet. They will be back out in 2 weeks' time, while Steelstown will have 4 week break. 3-17 to 1-7. Faughanvale lead into additional time up in Celtic Park. So Drumsurn are exiting the O'Neill Senior Football Championship. Steelstown are firmly not exiting it tonight because they have booked their place in the quarter-finals. This is only the first game of the championship tonight, or round 2 of the O'Neill Senior Football Championship tonight. And what a finish we had. Mary Kay, we're going to get another word from you just before we do go, because this game we thought was never going to ignite, but coming down the home straight the last 5 to 10 minutes, it really took off.
That game was a bit like the weather for a long phase. It was a bit miserable looking at times, but my God, when the clouds lifted and the dry evening came, Steelstown came to light. And look, there was very, very little between the two teams, to be fair. Both teams definitely ran their legs onto the ground. You know, this is going to be a difficult weekend for a lot of teams. The pitch is already wet now. The pitch is immaculate. The water's sitting on top of the grass. But tomorrow's forecast is so bad that we're looking at 3 games here tomorrow and 3 on Sunday, and there are definitely going to be upsets, Alan. I think, given that the conditions is going to cause problems for a lot of teams. But the Steelstown have come out of their huddle here, and they're elated with themselves. They're laughing and shouldering, and they're really enjoying it. And it's such a relief for them to be able to get that wee bit of breathing space into a senior quarter-final, and that is no small feat in any championship. But in the Derry Championship, if you get to a quarter-final, you've had a good season. They're getting a huge round of applause as they come off the field here by their adoring supporters, who always come out in numbers for them, and it's lovely to see it. Fair play to them.
One of the biggest smiles is Corey McGuinness. There's a lot of pats on the back towards Corey McGuinness, so I think that'll confirm it was him got the touch and into the back of the net. And Steelstown getting a well-deserved round of applause going off the field, because they are marching in to the quarterfinals of the O'Neill's Senior Football Championship. Thanks for joining us wherever you are. Mary Kay, thank you very much again for your expert analysis. And a Steelstown that have won on a final score of Steelstown 2 goals and 14 points to Loup's 11. And remember, this is only the start of the weekend. We will be back here tomorrow with another 3 games in the O'Neill Senior Football Championship, with thanks to Urban HQ redefining workspace. Tomorrow we will be on the TV. It'll not be radio coverage, it'll be TV, but we will be back tomorrow afternoon. The first game thrown in at 2 o'clock. We will talk to you then. Well done to Steelstown. Full-time score again in the O'Neill Senior Football Championship. It is finished. Steelstown 2 goals and 14 points. Loup 2 goals and 11 points. From myself, Alan Gunn, and from Mary Kay Burke, it's good night from Owen Begg.